What's going on? Welcome to KZ 1023's Community Beat, a new podcast hosted by myself, Ross Martinez. Each episode, we take a deep dive look into members of our community, the accomplishments, the trauma, the mentors, all of it. I hope this brings light to all the great things going on in our community. Yes, at times it may be difficult to hear, and some episodes will have some spicy language, but please don't be deterred. There's so much beauty in our stories. All right, let's get to KZ's Community Beat. Thank you for listening.
But that moment taught me like how I felt when my dad was, not, I won't say not there, but just wasn't present. And it was just like, oh, dang, like, I see how intent can be misunderstood.
Mic check. What's going on? Welcome into another episode of the KZ Community Beat. I'm your host, Ross Martinez. This week, I got Marcellus Sommerville in the hot seat, President CEO of Friendship House. Play basketball here, local courts, overseas. We'll get to that. But first, let's start with this. What was like one of the biggest challenges you had to overcome growing up?
Man, just in life in general, or just like younger years, college years?
What would you say has been your biggest challenge so far? Personal challenge. I like to start with the big questions.
Yeah, I see. I mean, I guess finding purpose after losing my first son, and then also losing my mom. She passed at 52.
My condolences.
We're 16 years apart. So, just being close with her, and then finding true purpose behind those two tragedies that happened in my eyes was difficult. It was probably my darkest moments. But yet, still trying to find, reasons to be strong and, be there for everybody else, honestly. Yeah.
We were talking off mic about how being men of color and dealing with mental health is something that was kind of, like I tell the joke all the time. When I told my parents I went to therapy, I'd rather had the sex talk with them than listen to about, hey, this was going on in my mind. Yeah. So how did you process everything? Like, how was that for you?
After losing my son in my sophomore year in college with my wife, Brooke, I had to go to therapy. There was nothing else to be said in terms of course, I tapped into my faith at that time, and then, my coach recommended a doctor, and he was like, I think you should, see the campus psychiatrist and, therapists and things like that. And I'm just, like, what? No.
It's hard,
yeah. And he was seeing things that I didn't necessarily identify, you know what I mean, in terms of aggression on the court, elbowing and hitting teammates, things like that, just
your actions apart.
Yeah, and just my wife even alluded to that he had made a phone call to her and just was like, hey, is everything all right with Sel at home? And I thought it was just, I was just hooping and, just upset a little bit. But after speaking with the doctor, it was a lot. It was a lot to unpack there in terms of, childhood, way in which I was raised, which I felt like was normal for every kid, right? But at the same time, just some hidden things that I was, built up about, and unveiling some of that wasn't great either, I thought, like at the time. But I think it opened me up more to be conversational about it, be more vulnerable about it. And ultimately, I still carry some of that vulnerability in my everyday life, even though I'm, people identify me as one of the strongest people they know.
I've heard a lot of great things about you, man.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you as we came up, Hetty had a lot of great things to talk about you. And she always said you're a really good person. You got a big heart. You've been through things, but you got a big heart.
Yeah.
How have you protected that heart through everything?
I don't know that I have, honestly. You know what I mean? I just, I open it to everyone. I always try to see the good in everybody.
Has that become challenging throughout the years?
Yeah. Especially in the world in which I work today. It's, it's really challenging because everybody's got a story. Everybody's got, sob stories and good stories, but they always bring them to you in terms of what they're dealing with. You know, whether they're true or not, you just got to open your mind and your heart to see the value in what they're saying, and then, you know, try to help them out.
So let's talk about your life story, right? Born and raised Peoria?
Yeah, born and raised Peoria.
What's
born
that
at
town?
OSF.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you the local kid.
Yeah,
I
local
heard when I first reached out to you were getting your jersey hung.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. A few of my teammates and coaches and, you know, whole staff and everyone was inducted into the Hall of Fame. We were a team that was fortunate enough to make it pretty far in the NCAA tournament and reach the Sweet 16. So they were honoring us that night. Yep.
So take us through basketball, man. How'd you find it?
Kind of I would say my dad, you know, he was a player, so he was always around it, and then he would take me over to Morgan Square Park, kind of where he grew up at, down on the North Valley end of town. And I just liked it, you know. It was something. And then Jordan hit the TV, and it was like showtime. And, you know, I love that. So I always, as a kid, before I even really was playing basketball, was like, I'm gonna play in the league. I'm gonna play there, you know. So as a kid, just dreaming, and you know, basketball's been so good to me.
Yeah.
In terms of what I've been able to do for myself and for others, really, through the game. So,
What did you feel when you were on the court? Like you're in the moment.
I mean, I feel appreciated. I actually, you know,
Really?
in terms of, like, you know, you work hard when nobody's watching. You work hard, you know, in the gym, hours and hours and hours, and then on that Saturday or that, you know, Friday night, you just feel appreciated when you go out there and give your best effort. And not everybody appreciates it, right? But you feel valued in what you bring to the team, and, you know, leadership and stuff like that.
So growing up, who were some people that were really big role models to you?
I would say my grandfather. He was a big role model for me. Man of God. He was a reverend down here. I forget the name of the church, but with Pastor Davis, and he was everything to our family. You know, he was that guy that was the glue. Everybody came to talk to Papa when, you know, when they were dealing with stuff. You know, he was just that guy. Everybody came to him. He was like the bank. He was everything. You know.
So he was like the community figure.
Yeah, for sure. He was the guy. I would also say my mother. Even though she dealt with her demons and her challenges, she was probably the strongest woman I known. Right. Yeah. Just a little backstory. She was a addict of her choice, and things like that. And I remember when I had my second son, and my sister had her first daughter, and, you know, she wanted to see the kids, and we wouldn't let them see her like that, right? And she was like, well, I'm going to get clean. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And lo and behold, she cold turkey just got clean on her own.
Wow.
And it was the strongest thing I ever seen. And it was, like, incredible to see and experience seeing. And she did it for her grandkids, and that was dope.
Indirectly, she did it for you, too?
Yeah, to me, too. But I just feel like she just, yeah, she was dope for that. She was seriously
So
dope.
what did that fill you with, like, seeing her and just, you tell her, like, hey, I don't want them to see you like this. Was it more protecting her image for them?
Yeah, that, and just, you know, just protective of them, right, in a sense, and just like, you know, hoping that she could someday beat this, and she did, and she was able to beat it. And my wife says all the time, like, she didn't want to date me because when we were dating, she didn't want to date me because I didn't introduce her to my mom at first, because I didn't want her to see what I have known, the scene and things like that. But again, she was by far the strongest woman. And then my dad, he showed me how to, you know, work hard. I moved with him when I was 12 years old. You know, he would come pick me up periodically you know, from from the age of 12 and under. And I would see him sometimes, you know, but when I was 12, he decided to take me in and, you know, teach me how to be a young man. And, you know, he's one of my heroes too.
So what are some lessons he taught you how to be a man? Because there's a lot to teach you.
Yeah, there's a lot,
young
right?
Boy, you got a lot to learn.
There's a lot to unfold there. And there was those were the teenage years, so there was some pushback there.
Yeah, some rebellion.
Yeah. So, I mean, not a lot in terms of just being, ornery or anything like that. Just being young and silly, you know.
Trying to figure out who your identity is.
Yeah, exactly. So he taught me a lot, man. Just the value of showing up every day and working hard. Consistency. He was a custodian for the district, and now today he's one of the head individuals in the district under the custodian realm and management realm and maintenance realm. So just consistency, right? And then just, you know, being there. And I believe he wanted to be there. It just, you know, he was trying to find himself too. So there's no fault there. It's just, you know, life.
Isn't that interesting? Like, we don't realize it until we become parents. Not that I am, but I've been told this from my best friend, other people close to me. You don't really understand that your parents are learning on the fly.
Yeah.
Do you feel that also with your kids when you start having them? And
it's like you have a sense of grace for way they raised you, right? My dad, like I said, my mom was 16, my dad was 17, so they were young.
They were children.
They were kids. Like, you know, my dad was he that wasn't part of probably his plan, you know what I mean, and as an individual. And he, you know, he was like, I'm a kid, I'm gonna hang out, I'm gonna do my thing. So grandma and grandpa, you know, pretty much, you know, helped my mom raise me and stuff like that. So yeah, it does bring a different perspective when after you have kids and you like, all right. Because I remember being faced with that situation when I was playing overseas, and my son, who was 11, 12 at that time, 12, 13, I think 12, yeah, 12. And I had to go overseas and play just to, you know, make ends and have a situation for us that we had just bought a home, and my wife had just started a new job here in the States, so she wanted to stay and pursue that. And so I was just like, man, I should take this. And then I left, and he didn't understand. He was like, nah, like, why can't you stay here? Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, he just wanted that. And it was like, you know what I'm saying? So, but that moment taught me, like, how I felt when my dad was, you know, not, I won't say not there, but just wasn't present. And it was just like, oh, dang. Like, I see how intent can be misunderstood.
Ain't that crazy? Like, you're getting pulled two ways. You're getting pulled with something that you're extremely passionate about, something that you devoted a good chunk of your life to, that, you know, you saw MJ playing, you got on the court. We'll talk about your basketball in a bit, but you have this aspect to you, Marcellus. Then you have the father. Like, how was that, dealing with that mentally?
It was tough, honestly, and I probably bent more on the side of being the athlete father, you know what I mean, at that time, because I wasn't young, but I still was pretty much in my prime in terms of being productive. And so I did, and then I saw the impact after I made my decision, right?
Ooh, what impact?
Just of what it had on my son, like how he was being rebellious, he was talking back to mom, just, you know, going through his teenage years as well, and just like, oh, dang, okay, I'm missing out. All right, it's time to make a decision on, you know, how we do this, you know what I mean? And so made a decision, and I ultimately retired in 2019, half of the year, middle of the year, just because of dealing with those back and forth challenges.
Yeah.
And all right, do I want to continue to finish out this contract, or do I want to really be intent on what I'm doing every day with my family, my kids? Or am I going to continue to, you know, flirt with the aspect of being a pro?
Man, so how was that, though, like, emotionally? It's a big decision, man.
Yeah, it was. I left some bread on the table, too, in terms of that. But, I mean, God has a plan, and he had a purpose for me. So when I did, let's say, jump, and I jumped, and I didn't know where I was going to land, honestly, but I was going to be with my family and my wife and my kids. And, we had just moved back to Peoria. So being with her parents and my dad at the time, and just my sister and brothers. I mean, it's just that's true wealth, man. That's true. Family. That's true. That's the joy of life.
Yeah. Was it hard afterwards coming back and not being into life, having that dedication day in, day out? Like, yeah, you have your family, and that, not to dismiss that at all.
Right.
But there's an aspect to you that you just let go.
Yeah, right.
How hard was that transition?
I've been keen on not just being an athlete, especially after stopping playing ball and retiring and things like that. Excuse me, but it's like we really are, like, as young men, we are more than what quote unquote society sees us as. You know what I mean? And I was really big on that. So I was trying to find my way in what profession was next. I didn't know what career was next, right? I didn't want to just take a job because, I just didn't. I wanted to see what I would identify as something I'm passionate about, something I care about, and how I can shape it to make it a career.
So what was the next step after that?
Honestly, I started to train kids, started to help them develop. I started a Next Generation Academy, which is a basketball academy here that we work out year-round. We do some travel ball now. Actually, we just adopted that 2.5 years ago. But where we train and help kids, we mentor them through the game of basketball and just talking about aspects of life and how circumstances can hit you and how to have the mental agility to, push through, and how to identify when you're in those situations. Just stuff like that. And then it was successful. We were doing well, especially during the pandemic. So we found different ways to train without touching one another. Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's intriguing because with basketball, there's
it's a physical sport. So we did a lot of skill development outside in your local parks. So big ups to the park district, and we did some things like that. So it was kind of dope, different. You know what I mean? And then I've always been a guy that loves his community, so I was doing some things involving that, and I've been doing that since 2014 with my wife. So when the position at Friendship House came available, it just made sense to apply, and went through that process, and it was truly a blessing to be chosen because I hadn't had actual experience as the CEO of a nonprofit, but grateful that they believed in me, and that they saw something that I saw in myself in terms of the ability to bring a team of individuals that cares about a organization together and then put forth. You know what I mean? It's just like, I hate to say it, but sports teaches us so much. And
there's a lot of metaphors in sports.
Yeah, man. And then just it's just about how you view and how you see it. But the team we have at the Friendship House is second to none, and even though we're a small organization, we're doing impactful stuff.
Let's talk about Friendship House, man. So what are some things you guys do there?
We do a lot of outreach, a ton of outreach in terms of families, youth, seniors. So we do screens for health. We have a La Familia program that we help implement citizenship with those individuals.
Hey, yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And we also have ESL for those individuals as well, and a whole slew of different resources and programs for them. And then we have our after-school program, which is probably one of our biggest programs and one of our most sought-after, enriched programs, where we're teaching kids through English, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And then we added S at the end for service, because we want to teach the kids, it's okay to give back and things like that, and how to do that, and how to impact your community, even though you're really young, you still can have some influence there. So we do it through that. Then we have several different camps that we try to help parents.
It's just a full service.
Oh, man.
One-stop shop. Huh?
One-stop shop. You got the pantry. That's probably been our longest program. Just this year alone, by the end of the year, we'll have given out 84,000 meals to the families in the community.
Say that number again?
Yeah, 84,000 meals
What?
to the community. And it's just, and we do that through our partnerships too. CityLink, we have a program called Stuff-A-Bus that we do once a year.
I heard about this.
Yeah, and we just finished the 35th year. We raised 12.47 tons, so lots of food that
amazing.
We take in and that we're dishing out, or distributing out.
Have you stopped to look back at your life and been like, these are the pivotal moments in my life or my career that have led me to where I am now?
I do and I don't.
Yeah?
Yeah. One of my coach's favorite quotes was, when you get a big win or you get a win, it only lasts till midnight. Next day you got to get up and get back at it, right? Because someone's always chasing you. And so I kind of carry that with me. People tell me all the time I should celebrate more in terms of what I've been able to accomplish. But it's just
just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Why celebrate what you're supposed to be doing?
Yeah. Facts.
So let's talk about early childhood here in Peoria.
Yeah.
You was born and raised OSF.
OSF. Shout out to OSF.
You're a local kid from town. What do you remember being a young kid here?
I remember, a lot of fun with cousins, honestly, right? We grew up close, spending the night at aunties and uncles' houses. Do remember jumping around schools, honestly. Living on grandpa's couch or auntie's couch, stuff like that. I went to, I want to say, 5 or 6 grade schools before the age of 12.
You jumped around.
So, yeah, jumping around. Yeah, man,
Street lights come on, you got to get inside.
Street lights come on, got to be inside stuff. I remember my grandfather putting up a basketball rim for me. You know what I mean? We lived on First Street at the time. I went to Roosevelt, and so he was like, yeah, I'm going to put you a rim up, I got my ball taken a couple times. So he was like, I'm going to put y'all up a rim in the backyard, Joe. To me, like I said before, it felt regular. It felt like every kid in Peoria was going through the same stuff I was going through. I'm the oldest of 4, and I would watch my siblings while my mom worked third shift. You know what I mean? At the age of 7, 8, I'd be at home alone with them all night. Had to put them on the bus, feed them breakfast. Just what I felt and thought everybody was doing. Yeah. Honestly.
At what point did you realize it's not what everybody was doing? When
I moved with my dad.
Yeah.
And it was like, or when I started to go visit him more on the weekends, it was like, damn, all they doing is dishes. Oh man, they got a pantry full of cereal. Okay, this is different. This is a little different.
So was that when you realized what the world was like?
I just realized that, okay, and I say this not in a selfish way, but when I realized it's like, okay, I can want that too, I can want different. I can want different than what I've been doing, I don't gotta be the one to have all the shoulder all the responsibility when it comes to my siblings and be the man of the house. I could be a kid over here, and so it was like
it's like a little escape kind of.
Yeah, it was a little bit like that, and it was hard for my siblings. It was hard for my mom when I did run away from home and decide to go live with my dad, but it was something that I felt was needed, right? It was needed. And ultimately, I always thought in my head I could always come back and give more once I am able to attain more in terms of knowledge, in terms of, financial gain. I've always thought like that.
So transplanting yourself from one situation to another opens your perspective.
Yep.
So time with Pops.
And that kept on happening for me because through the game of basketball, you're introduced to a lot of people. I play travel basketball with the Illinois Warriors, and they were stationed in Chicago. And I remember my first trip going to play with Darius Miles, playing with Quentin Richardson, playing with Dennis Gates, Jarence Howard. Joey Rank, all these guys you know names, right? And I was just the freshman playing on their team, sitting the bench, happy to sit the bench, honestly.
Just learning.
But learning. And, meeting people and then having opportunities to stay a night with a host family and just seeing the mansions and just, what they, I want this too.
It's like a culture shock.
Yeah, it was
like,
serious.
wait a minute.
Yeah, what I've been missing out. So just in terms of some of that, just learning and making friends and just like, man, I'm blessed to be able to, like I said, play the game and been able to see a lot in terms of bringing it back to Peoria.
So what are some big memories you got from playing? Some ones that stick out.
Nike camp. Was there with Yao Ming, was there with like all the big Karan Butler.
You hang out with Karan Butler?
All these guys, man, just hooping in high school. And it was the who's of, basketball. And
how'd you keep a level head?
Just, I don't know. You got to ask my coach that at the time. I probably didn't have a level head at that time, but...
Because that's a lot, man.
It is a lot, man.
You see these cats on TV.
Yeah, now, yeah. You always feel like, man, I'm just as good as those guys. I'm just as, so just being in the same space and place as them was really dope, really cool. So, and I was able to do that for 2 years. And then, like I said, basketball has taken me a lot of places. I hadn't left outside of Illinois until basketball. Like, I went to Disney World my first time ever because of basketball and showed out. Was like, all right, it's time to play. Like, you in Disney. And just like I said, it took me a lot of places.
So every opportunity you got, did you feel like you had to elevate the game as you got to that next level?
Yeah,
I don't want to go back. We're here. I want to go up.
Yeah. Always trying to, in your mind, be better than you were the day before. And, my high school coach was a big influence on that. Shout out to Coach Bisher.
Let's talk about Coach Bisher.
He was super awesome, man. He had so much knowledge and he saw so much in us, right? And he brung every bit of it out of us. When I say that, I mean like your character, your ability to play the game. He just saw things that you didn't see in yourself at that point in time. And he taught me how to tie a tie. I taught him how to change a tire. Me and Hamid, one of my teammates. But super, super cool to be able to. I'm fortunate, man. I can't even sit here and say nothing else. But
you've been blessed in your life.
Yeah, been blessed, man. Been blessed.
Do you feel like that's why you put the blessings back onto the community?
Yeah, rightfully so, right? It's our duty, our responsibility when we know more to share more, and when we've been blessed through opportunity, it's only right to give those that are thriving and wanting those opportunities, give them the opportunities too.
Who instilled that into you?
It's probably not one person.
Collection of people?
Collection of people. My wife is big in that. Her parents are big in that. Coach. Several. It's just a collection of people. Collection of people, man. Just even today, the Hetty Elliott's of the world, the Jahan Gordon Booths of the world, David Booth, Derek Booth of the world, just a whole slew of people, man, that, have inspired me to continue to push. And like we said when I first walked in, there's some days that are challenging, right? There's some serious days that are, but you find hope in those individuals that want those opportunities.
So you're in the community, you're helping out, right?
Mm-hmm.
How have you seen the community change or evolve since you were a kid?
Ooh, that's a loaded one.
Whatever you want to get.
I mean,
man.
just in terms of, it just feels different today. You know, in terms of the level of respect, I would say, just in terms of some of the kids that because I was one of those kids, and maybe we were disrespectful too, but I didn't feel like it was this way. You know what I mean? Some of these kids, every other word is a curse word, and you know, just the level of disrespect. It just seems like it's heightened. Yeah, I would say that, but I mean, somebody told me that Socrates said that back then the kids were disrespectful too, and then you know that was back then. So I guess with time, it doesn't matter the time. We all have been there, been disrespectful.
Yeah, different lenses.
Yeah, different lenses, right?
Now we're the adults.
Yeah, now we're the adults, and we're like, man, these dudes are crazy, wilding out and doing crazy stuff. But yeah, I just try to help change some of the mindset of these individuals that we serve in terms of when I encounter with them, when I'm talking to them, when I hear them being disrespectful. You know, most people probably just brush it off their shoulder, whereas I always be like, hey, chill. Like,
yeah, right.
Like, and they look at me crazy. Then I stand up, and then they calm down.
You tall. I see that. What position did you play?
Small forward, power forward.
You look like a power forward, man. You built.
Yeah, I packed on a couple pounds since basketball started.
Yeah, I can't judge, brother. I'm husky for a reason.
I'm husky for a reason.
But, man, that's interesting, though. I mean, everything you've been through, things you're talking about, the people that impacted you, you got to wonder, man, God had a plan for you.
Yeah, man, God had a plan for me. And
you feel like you're walking in light?
I'm walking it, right? Every day's a walk in terms of just making sure that we're always approaching the right mind space and what we're trying to do and being intentional about it. So, yeah, God is providing for me and providing for my family, and He's allowing me to provide for others. You
do a lot of good, but you see a lot of bad.
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
It's challenging, man. There's no easy way to explain it. It's just, I say it all the time. I've been blessed with the mindset to see and hear, you know, and understand, but yet be calm, you know, be tranquille, as they say in French.
Tranquilo?
Yeah, hey. in French, they say tranquille, and just be calm and be able to relax people when I do speak to them, when I do see them, and you know, if they're high in anxiety or you know, if they need a pick me up, being able to lift them. But yeah, I've been blessed, man.
Do you have any like really nice success stories that you've seen that you helped out in this community where you're like, you felt good about it afterwards?
I mean, I think I do. I got, like I told you, I don't highlight, but at the same time,
I like to give you the opportunity to highlight. Because you know what, a lot of people that do a lot of good sometimes don't like to talk about the good.
Yeah.
But I feel like those are good stories to hear.
Yeah. A gentleman by the name, I won't even say his name, but he was struggling with cancer. He was able to identify that he had cancer through some screenings that we do at the Friendship House. And to be able to help him overcome, and he's still fighting his battle, he's still fighting it, but to hear him say that Friendship House and the staff that helps him manage everything he's dealing with and give him purpose to come there every day, that's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's one, right? But that's one of the ultimate ones that you know, has brung tears to my eyes in terms of just hearing, you know, that if not for Friendship House, he would not have known that he had cancer. He would not have known that he was experiencing. He was just felt like sick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then being able to translate for him at the hospitals, you know, through some services that we have is super dope.
Man.
Yep.
You ever get a chance to like sit down with your pops and talk about all this? Like who we are now? Thank them?
No, not a lot. I don't have a lot of regrets, but that's probably one that I probably should do more of. He's always busy, I'm always busy, and we're always throwing that at each other. And we play phone tag or text tag a lot, or buzz each other a lot, but not enough in-person conversation and love.
I started doing that more with my parents. Like, I'm from Chicago. I live in Peoria now. Phone calls with my dad are funny. Yeah. They're either 5 minutes or 10.
Yep.
Nothing more, nothing less. What's up, Pop? How you doing? Oh, good. What you doing? Nothing. How you feeling? Good. What you doing? Just gonna eat. All right, man. Take care. Bye. Call my mom's. 5 hours. Like, it's just long conversations.
Yeah. My dad is probably the same way. We pick up where we left off. We laugh, stuff like that.
But it's gotta like, I had a conversation with my pops not too long ago about the career and where I've been, what I've done, and to hear him say he's proud of me. Ooh, that's yeah. Has your pops ever told you that?
Yeah, he's told me that a couple times. Yeah.
What was the first time you remember him telling you that?
Probably when I got my scholarship offer to go to University of Iowa.
Take me through that, man.
Yeah, he was pretty excited for me.
How did you feel hearing all that?
I was good. I mean,
you just roll with it like, all right.
You seeing that's kind of my personality. I was good with it. I mean,
you seem to take life on the chin. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. That was cool. It was fun though. I mean, being one of the first in my family to receive something like that, was pretty awesome. It's crazy how you don't forget that you're the first, and and you're always trying to set the bar for the family and stuff like that. So,
you're the first one to go to college?
First one to graduate college and go to college, yeah.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah.
Was that added stress to you at all? Or you just didn't
My freshman year, yes. Because I don't know if I was quite ready. I was academically ineligible, not ineligible, but on the verge of being ineligible. So just once you all right, stop playing games. Let's get focused. And I did end up doing better my second semester. But it was dope, man. To being able to be one of the first from the family to be able to graduate. Yeah. And I got
Yeah, I'm the first male on my dad's side to do it.
Okay.
That's crazy,
dope.
man.
Yeah.
First generation, first one to college. I mean, my sister made it before me, but I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't count it.
I ain't counting her. Yeah.
But, you making history on that, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So, how many kids you have now?
I got 4. Yep.
4, man.
Yep, 4 babies. They're not babies, but they're big. Yeah.
And what hopes you have for them?
They're huge.
That's a beautiful family, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
So how much joy you take in seeing them living?
A lot, man.
More than lot. Being on the court?
Yes. Yep, for sure. I truly, my son's being recruited now. He has 12 offers from...
12 offers?
Yeah, he's big time.
Man, all right. Yeah. You said it with a nice little smirk.
I say that to you, but not to him. I'm always like, hey, you got more work to do.
Keep him humble.
So keep him humble. He's a humble kid, but keep him humble. He's got an opportunity, man. Play college ball, and his goal is to play for pay. So he want to play professionally someday. So yeah. And then my daughter, she's a stud in her own sport. Like, she likes volleyball and basketball, so she's pretty good.
Got a sport family, huh?
Yeah, wife played Division I basketball too. She went to Eastern Michigan and then transferred to Illinois State.
So you just got genes in the family, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, that's cool, man. Like, if you think about it, in life, you made a sacrifice for family. Now it's kind of coming full circle.
Yeah, everything's
that's crazy.
Everything's coming full circle. And so just always trying to, like, me and the wife always harping on, what we've experienced through the game and how it's, transformed our lives and helped us, be able to do things. And I think they ultimately see that because, they were overseas with me too I played 14 and a half years, so they were over there 13. of those years, 13 and a half of those
Overseas
years.
for 13 years.
Yeah.
Take me through that living experience, man, because that had to be an entire different, shock.
Yeah. I was my first job was in Paks, Hungary, and about 4 hours, 3.5 from Budapest. And so total shock.
Coming from Peoria, Illinois.
Illinois to Hungary. And it was like complete shock. Town, I think we had around 1,900 people live there. And so small town, but yeah, it was complete shock. But basketball was universal, Basketball is universal, so that was my safe place, and I can hoop. And even though I didn't understand half of the stuff coach was saying and players were saying, I was like, all right, put the ball in the hole and keep it moving.
Where the passing lane is and how to set
it. Keep it moving.
What are some things you learned overseas, though?
Learn how to say thank you in several different languages, and how to order food, and learn how to communicate. Really, honestly, I say that because I still am sometimes. I'm much of an introvert than an extrovert, but at the same time, living over there, you're forced to speak. You're forced to communicate. What you want and what you don't want, and what you need and what you don't need. And I was forced to do that in some countries where they didn't really speak much English, or it was broken, and there could be serious barriers there when you're talking about playing the game, and you're talking about living and what you need in your apartment, what you don't, things like that, or your house. So I was forced to communicate a lot more than I wanted to originally, but
is there certain things you learned over there that you brought back and now that you do at Friendship House, right?
Yeah. Not really. Of course, I do it some in the camps I run, little untraditional of the American style. I really appreciated the basketball style of play over there, and I try to, I feel like the United States are moving more to that since they've seen it be successful with the Warriors. Because the Warriors play a European style of offense.
So what is that?
Which is just spread, lots of screens, lots of DHOs, dribble handoffs, a lot of, indirection plays where they shooting a lot, layups and threes are king, and just, a lot of transparency there with a way in the style of basketball. So I try to teach that way because that's where basketball has moved to.
It has evolved a lot since the Jordan era.
Yeah, and just positionless, right? In terms of the big guys are skilled. Some of them shoot too many threes still, but they're skilled. You
got power forwards dropping from the key right now. What?
Yeah, so, you got the point forwards like Draymond over there. And I want to say I was point forward because I wasn't passing as much as Draymond, but, just being in those positions where you're like the general on the floor, where you're like the point forward.
Now, do you remember when the game actually evolved here in the States? Because it changed. I remember we were pounding to the paint.
Yeah.
Boards. Paint boards. Yeah. Take it to the hole.
I would say the year, I don't know if I could pinpoint it, but I would say probably the year that the Mavericks won. Right? I think that was 08.
I think it was 08, 9, 10.
Maybe 9, 10, yeah. 9, 10.
Around there.
But
that's when Dirk won it.
Yeah, right? It seemed like the game had shifted once they seen it be successful with Dirk in the way he plays, right? Yeah. And like the style of like perimeter oriented big, moving in and out, pick and roll, pick and pops. And it just seemed like it kind of has flowed into what it is today, which is, everybody's doing trying to give their version of what the Warriors does.
Everybody trying to pop up from half court, come on.
Yeah, everybody trying to get their version of what it is. But I feel like it made a big shift then. And of course with the Heat, because Brown was playing some 4, and he's been predominantly the ball handler a lot when he was with the Cavs then. And then he moved to like the 3-4 point forward, they used to say.
He's evolved a lot
and
too.
Yeah, so I would say that year 2010 maybe.
Do you miss what the game used to be?
I don't know. I like it the way it is, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's
a quick pace.
Quick pace. To me, it's a lot funner for everyone. Whereas before you had your point and 5, right? And then or 4, like Karl Malone and Stockton. You always had your 2-man combo where you had to have one big, one small, and they would just run pick and roll, and everybody else would eat off of that. Yeah, Kobe, Shaq. But I feel like now it's a lot more skill in terms of the players, and everybody's got an opportunity now with the way the offense moves and swings. Once the ball gets swung, you got a shot or a drive right away. Whereas it was like you were a 3, you stay in that corner, you do this, you do that. It was a little bit more traditional. So 3 out of 2 in.
I think you know the question I'm going to ask you, because I'm going to ask any person that's been in the game.
What?
Jordan, LeBron, Kobe.
In what order? And you want the order?
Yeah, give me your order, brother.
My order is Jordan. I ain't got to think about it. Kobe and Bron. That's my order.
It's a good order, man.
That's my order. I love Jordan's, what he brung to the court, and what he was able to accomplish in his time. I think
Kobe, man. Kobe was a different animal.
Different animal. He was Jordan Point, whatever you want to call it. But he was different too because of his approach and his preparation. Like Kobe's probably my favorite. I would put Kobe before Jordan, but it just don't feel right to do that. Right? But I love Kobe. I get a lot of inspiration from him in terms of what he was able to do on the court as well as off the court, and how he just, he
had his foundation that he was doing before he passed away.
Yeah.
And then he was helping with youth and what's it called? I forgot the name of his foundation.
Yeah.
But he also had that.
Yeah, he
it's
just
kind of similar to what you're doing.
Yeah,
you're helping the kids out.
Just his savviness to remove himself from hoops to the professional world and become the CEO of his, like you said, his academy, and his giving efforts to the young ladies that he was coaching, and the inspiration he was giving to all of us as ex-athletes and athletes. I just think that Kobe's dope.
Did you watch that Redeem Team on Netflix?
Redeem Team.
Where they're talking about the U.S. Olympics.
So I started it.
I
started it with my son. My son's down in Atlanta, Georgia, going to school, and so we started it and we haven't finished it yet. So I haven't completed it yet, but I watched probably like 25 minutes of it so far. So
you probably hit the point where Kobe goes right at, what's his name?
Paul Gasol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that part.
That's wild when you think about it. He's like, he ain't my brother today.
Yeah. But that's how it is. And then I think Bron is super dope. Like what Bron is doing.
Socially, what he's doing.
What Bron is doing in terms of basketball alone, he good, right? I mean, to me, he chasing. He trying to be the best of all time, which I don't know if he will in my eyes ever be, but at the same time he's a really, 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 really good basketball player. But on the other side, he is the ultimate community man.
He's always jumping in front of causes.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
Yeah, he's strategic though, but he always does. But he dope though. He dope from that aspect. So I would definitely go Jordan, Kobe.
Are there any up-and-coming guys that you feel are like gonna elevate the game, take it to the next level, become the next 3?
I don't know. It's so hard to tell, man, to project out like that. It's so hard to tell and project out.
All right.
But they got the young boy from France right now. I forget how you pronounce his name, but he projected to be the number 1 pick next year. He playing in Paris, Levallois. I forget his name, but
I gotta check that one out.
Yeah, he's like 7 foot, doing crazy stuff with the ball.
7-footer going crazy?
Going crazy.
All right, now the game's about to elevate.
Yeah.
All right, I almost got you on the hour. So, Marcellus, before we head out, let me ask you, man. when everything's said and done, what do you want the community to remember you as?
That I was consistent. I was consistently there for them in terms of the people we serve. I don't know. I ain't never thought about it really like that. Just, always thinking, of course, you want to be remembered in a positive light, and you want to make sure that that your impact is felt beyond what you have imagined. And so I guess I think like that. Just, I don't know if I could put it in a couple words, but
give you something to think about.
Yeah, just that, because I had a young man, about a year ago say, "Man, I'm gonna take your job," and I was like, "Yeah," you know what I mean? That's he's a young man that's in our program, but it's like, yeah, that's what I'm here for, right? I'm here for you to be inspired to someday stand here and be the CEO of Peoria Friendship House. That's why I'm here. Like that inspires me to, mentor you. That inspires me to, pour into you of what it's like on a daily, and
show me the hunger.
Yeah,
and I'll give you the tools.
Yeah, that type of deal. And so, yeah, man. Yep.
Well, the only way to do that is through consistency.
That's right.
All right. There's been another episode of the KZ Community Beat. I'm your host, Ross Martinez. My guest this week, Marcellus Sommerville, CEO of
Peoria Friendship House of Christian Services.
If anybody wants to get involved with you, how can they contact you?
They can contact me at the office, which the number is 309-671-5208, or you can contact me through email, ceo@friendship.house.
All right, my man. Thanks for coming out this week, man.
No doubt.
All right, go back, listen to all the episodes. If not, we can't be friends. All right, bye.